Advocates of the philosophy of trickle-down economics often say that those at the top of the structure are the ones who generate wealth in society, and the ones at the bottom are all just bottom-feeding parasites. And they're not entirely wrong about this. Something that might shock you, I don't actually think that trickle-down economics is entirely wrong. Trickle-down economics, aka supply-side economics, aka voodoo economics. I think of it as being kind of like a giant physics equation that has some of the variables transposed. Let me explain. So traditionally, trickle-down economics has looked like this. You get this big pyramid, and the people with the most money are at the top. Let's say the top 10%. If you cut taxes at the top of the pyramid, then the money is free to fall down and enrich the rest of society. However, in reality, it doesn't work that way. If you cut taxes on the wealthiest members of society, the money just stays there at the top. It goes into savings accounts. It goes into mathematical equations on Wall Street that only generate virtual wealth. It doesn't actually create any new wealth for society. Now, the idea of adjusting one part of the economy to bring prosperity to the rest of the economy is not entirely unfounded. But here's where trickle-down economics has its fatal flaw in its understanding of how the world works. The chart should actually look like this. See, how the economy works is that wealth is first created here, by the working class. That wealth then proceeds to trickle down to the bottom of this funnel. It does this through various means: franchise contracts, paying the salaries of the management class, CEO bonuses, sales, the stock market, poorly written intellectual property right laws, and most often, the consumption of material goods by the working class, which they themselves help create. Through workers' wages, there are small eddies in this constant downward flow of wealth, in which wealth temporarily floats upward again against the torrent of downward trickling. However, the overwhelming majority of wealth flows steadily to the bottom of this funnel. If no method of intervention is taken, eventually all the wealth collects in the bottom of the funnel and becomes stagnant. Once it becomes stagnant, the top stops being able to transfer their wealth downwards via consumption. Then they are laid off from their jobs and stop being able to introduce new wealth into the system. When the constant downward trickling ceases, the economy goes into recession, and the wealth begins to dry up and disappear. So how do we prevent this? The monetary wealth that is settled here in the bottom can be brought back to the top through higher wages to the working class. This ensures that they have more purchasing power and ensures that the consumption of goods will continue fueling the economy. Wealth can also be brought back to the top of the funnel through other means, such as taxation. If we tax the wealth of the richest folks at the bottom of this funnel and then pump it up to the top of the funnel through public services like single-payer health care, through building infrastructure that facilitates our economy, things like railroads, bridges, trains, highways, water purification, renewable energy resources, etc., we can then ensure that the economy has a steady flow of wealth from the top of the funnel to the bottom, and then back again. And that's good for everybody at every level of the funnel, from labor on the top to the parasites on the bottom. The Punk Patriot is viewer-supported media. Miley Cyrus produces art and gets compensated for it. I produce political videos and receive no compensation from anyone. If you'd like to support my work, please donate, or buy a t-shirt. To those of you who are spreading the word about the show and sharing it with their friends, thank you. Word of mouth is the only way the show has ever grown.